Torgan here and Jack Pinner. All the lights are currently lit here on track, and it is go, go, go!
Contact between the Mercedes teammates.
Ganoso with a crafty manoeuvre up the inside. Masterclass from the Chilean.
Crucial championship points on offer here.
Do not count out Danny Beresne.
Longe has done the job. This is for the win between these two.
Freddie Rasmussen wins the United States Grand Prix.
Alfie Butcher wins for the first time ever. Lucas Blakely takes the championship. It's Barry Borman.
Jarno Opmeer is your champion.
Good evening everyone and welcome to PSGL. And as you can see, it's not the face you're used to, but I'm back in the booth and I'm very excited to be here with the one and only Omid. How are we, my friend? How are we feeling tonight?
Hello, Corey. Great to be back with you first of all. And we've got some race coming our way. We have some race indeed coming our way. And I'm sure Sappy will be disappointed to miss it. But hopefully he'll be back with us next week. But we've got some amazing action about to begin. And qualifying is already go with the 18 minutes.
Absolutely. We get ourselves over to Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, my favourite circuit. But we're not going to keep you waiting any longer. You've already waited 10 minutes of delays after Steam decided to go down for us. But we are now back running nice and bonny, and we are about to go trackside. And as you can see, all the drivers already flooding themselves out onto the track. There's no messing around, there's no waiting about. Only a few have stayed in the pits. That's 4. Justin Ertz, Larry Tulke, Sasha Neve and JST have not come out to do an outlap just yet. Everybody else flooding out and absolutely all over that track. Look how close everybody is. This is insane already. They've just gone straight out, ready for action. They want to try and maximise all the time they've got, because if they make that mistake, especially around these 27 technical corners in some areas, you've got to be on the ball. You've got to be on the nerve.
They're already looking racy. And I'm not surprised after such a long delay that they all want to get on with it. And they're all ghosting through each other. And they all want to begin their flying laps as quick as possible. But, I mean, I mentioned this every round, so I think we're going to continue that here as well. Diego also, as per usual, with the Haas being near the end of the pit lane, being the first ones to head onto the circuit. And here we go then. Diego's also makes his way down towards the first turn of 27 around this circuit.
Absolutely. Now, this is a place that can really snatch you an unfortunate situation. Sometimes you really need to cut the apexes to try and get that time. It's all about the tenths, all about the hundredths and the thousandths of a second. It's going to be extremely close and fine margins here around Jeddah circuit. You know, it's one of those 27 turns. You can gain so much time, but also lose it. Oh, there's a big slide there for Diego Zorzo. He does keep himself collected. He did very, very well not to invalidate that lap. It will still be a lap worthy to go on the board, a bank of time, unless he chooses to back out of it. But for now, he looks like he's staying strong and staying on the power as he comes down into Sector 2.
Still wants to get used to things, still wants to push on around this circuit, but Diego's also going all in and over the edge. I have to take a step back, so I'm having to take a step forward now after seeing that on screen a few moments ago. Now we're heading to turn number 22, where they fling it in to the corner, and it means that we're going to be foot to the floor all the way down towards the 27th and final corner on the circuit. We've seen in real life before that it can go wrong at that corner, especially on a qualifying lap where the drivers are on the edge, especially like they are today, and that will continue. That'll be a theme throughout this session. A lot of them have had to wait around quite a bit due to the technical difficulties. They all immediately want to get on with it. Zorzo, of course, won't get a time on the board due to that moment. As we look to one of our pole sitters from this season, he goes to the front, immediately beaten by the two McLarens.
And of course, beaten once again by Leonardo. He's just jumped ahead by just under a tenth of a second. So that's a beautiful lap to get there, going at 26.7 so far. Will set off the banker times. A lot of drivers going back into the pits, maybe getting that unfortunate invalidation and not the lap that they want to. But Danny Van Rooten jumps up to P3. So he gets a time on the board. We have the second kicks out by crossing the line. He goes to P6, I believe. Tom 97's P7 over the 27, just shy of a 27-1. He's doing very well there for certain, but the drivers have not got the laps in that they wanted. A lot of other drivers, other teams have all just dived into the pits. You can see they've maybe had that unfortunate invalidation, maybe caught a moment and are not happy with a lap. But is anybody else going for a lap? There's not. All the banker times are done, and Sasha Neeb has retired already. So what's happened there?
He was one of the drivers who was suffering with those technical issues and was one of the last drivers to get the game working as well. Now, we're going to run through the standings and all of that during the break after qualifying and in between the race when we have the lobby restart. But definitely worth mentioning that there was a lot that changed. There was a lot that changed after last round from what we saw, with a brilliant drag race separated by under a tenth of a second. First, second, third, all well, the first and second got disqualified. Third place got a penalty, and in the end, finishing in fourth, Berlin Delicas picked up the win when there was no sign of that one happening. And yeah, first and second, you had Thomas Laminin, Sammy Simeone, both being disqualified from last round as well. And those were the two drivers that finished first and second. So definitely a big moment, and a big moment for the championship, with Zorzo, Imtiaz, Tulki not having the best of race out there. It meant that Thomas Laminin would have had a chance to join the championship battle, but with him being disqualified, it leaves him exactly with the same points that he came into last round. So he'll need to hope for more of the chaos. But Corey, it's Jeddah. We've usually seen some of the most chaotic PSGL races around this circuit in the past, and I don't think I'm going to be surprised with what we've seen this season if we see something similar to that once again.
Well, you know, it certainly is a difficult circuit to navigate, and it's definitely a hard circuit to master. These corners come at you fast, very quickly, and very fast flowing. If you catch that tiny bit of understeer, start sliding out too wide, it can cost you tenths, especially as you come through some of these turns like here. Turn number 4, sorry, as we come around turn number 5 and 6 and 7, flat to the floor for Diego Zorzo, that last driver looking to get a time on the board. He came out to set the first banker, but was not happy after his moment and went into the pits to try again. He does come through Sector 1 fairly cleanly this time. No mistakes around here, and into Sector 2 we go.
Zorzo pushing on, net championship leader of course, with Gabriel Quintino, who has been promoted up to F2. That was last round if you haven't joined us last round. So that's happened, with Gabriel Quintino really taking a step forward. When it came to the race, he was already the man to beat when it came to this exact session, qualifying. Now, Diego Zorzo, known for being an all-round complete driver, trying to prove that once again with having a good starting position. It was a mistake on run 1. Now the question is put to him whether he can get himself up there with his teammate, two Hasses who've been close all the way throughout this season. Now, across 27 turns, let's see whether they'll be close once again, but Zorzo will definitely be hoping that he can get to pole position. As he comes across the line, can Zorzo get there? He can get ahead of his teammate, but he is still behind Leonardo Tornolato, and it's Haas second and third, with Alpine right now on pole.
It is absolutely Leonardo just managing to find that banker lap. Although the track evolution starts to come out, they rubber in that tarmac and the grip levels certainly increase. Diego Zorzo could not find that half a tenth to jump ahead of Leonardo. So Leonardo certainly looking very quick and very racy here. Straight out of qualifying, straight out the door. He's on another 8 lap now, but is that going to be a time worthy of jumping ever more further ahead from his rivals behind? The Haas locking out 2 and 3 so far, but there's still 10 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Anything can happen. It can flip on its head in a moment. You've got to remember, 10 minutes in racing is quite a distance if you think about it logically. There's about, what, 5 laps in there, roundabout, maybe?
Absolutely. Imtiaz to the top. Raise Imtiaz, one of our championship contenders, now goes to provisional pole, and he goes into the 0.6s as well. Tornolato's going to get the chance to reply to that lap, and he'll get also to fight back. We're watching the Alpine driver right now as he heads down to the turn number 13 complex at this stage, and it's going to be critical for Leonardo Tornolato trying to get some points. He's 17th in the championship. He scored 1 podium in Qatar, in which was a race that definitely had many surprises and shocks in terms of who randomly found out a performance. Not able to deliver it throughout the rest of the season, but that was a round where they turned up and showed their class. Tornolato showing his class so momentarily until he invalidates, and that was slightly too wide into turn number 22, but that was a lap, Corey. That was a 10th up on what he had managed before, so he was definitely going to try and take the fight to Imtiaz.
Absolutely. Reyes Imtiaz certainly is a quick driver and rocking that Ferrari colour as I see him in the Ferrari quite often, to be fair. I wonder if that's the team of choice for him more than most. But as we look on to Leonardo diving back into the pits, is anybody else worthy of contention for that pole position? Everybody's coming back into the pits. A lot of drivers coming back round. I'm not entirely sure. The only other people I can see that need to get a bank of time on is Alexi and Pascal.
Pavero, the driver who made his way up from F5 all the way up to F3 last round. And he's joined by Ranieri as well, who dived it into the pit lane. But yeah, to quickly answer the question, who's in the battle of pole? Literally, we're going to have to select all 19 drivers that are still in this session. It's PSGL, absolutely anything is possible. Right now, to run you through the order, Imtiaz, Tornolato, Zorzo, Sammy Simeone once again, putting in a good qualifying performance so far as it stands. And then Tulki Laminin, Danny Van Rooten, Marcel Biega, Buba, and Zach Miles behind the wheel of the second Ferrari in the field. And slight improvement for these drivers will jump them up many places, and there are so many corners around the circuit, the most of any on the calendar, 27 in total, meaning there is a lot of room to find improvement for the 19 that remain in this field.
Oh, it certainly does. Certainly opens the door for you to find those tenths, those hundredths, those thousandths that could propel you higher up here in your qualifying session. You want to try and get as high in the field as you can, as always, to get yourself the best possible start as everybody barrels down into turn one. It is one of the moderate braking zones as you fire around to the left and back around to the right. It wouldn't surprise me to see some slight contact going into turn one, lap one, but of course you always see it in Jeddah. There's something that will happen with how tight that first sector can be, especially flat to the floor from turn 5 onward all the way to turn 12. One slight mistake through that part of the track and you're off, maybe even worse, getting yourself collected in the wall and putting yourself out of the Grand Prix.
Absolutely. Here we go then with Larry Tulki as he makes his way through at
he's
slow
onto
speed.
the pit lane, I think. So I was expecting a lap. He's just not quite there.
Yeah, so he is going to come into the pit lane. Will definitely charge up the battery and continue on if that is what he's attempting to do. So not pushing on at this stage. Same can be said about JS. I believe he was the driver who just found the improvement actually for 11th last time around. As Tulki does dive right into the pit lane, but do not worry because you've got laps starting. And as we say that, we switch over to see one of those, and it's his teammate Diego Zorzo as he once again goes attacking. Let's see what sort of improvement can he get on the board, and maybe he can even try and get himself to the front row and pole. It's going to be a evolving track. It will be a track that will continue to get faster, meaning the drivers definitely need to try and execute it at this stage.
Absolutely, it's very important you get yourself up in that order because as the clock ticks down and the final minutes come, you can also rely on the fact that your rivals may run it a little bit wide, may have a bad couple of corners, but Diego Zorzo, he's 2 tenths up so far, and it could be the challenge for the new pole position from the Haas driver. Can he bring the fight to Imtiaz, who still sits there in the pits, waiting for the opportune moment to come out on his final run? He's happy with that 26.6 so far. He's not feeling too much threat, but has plenty of time to get back out and go for another lap to improve it. Diego Zorzo, though, is looking very racy, very fast as he's just about to finish the second sector. He is still 2 tenths up, just under 2.5 tenths, so this will be a new pole position time to contend with as he comes down towards turn 25 now. 26 and 27 remain just 2, although you could call this a double left-hander. You're flat to the floor, aided with DRS, and then he comes to 27. If you're too quick on the power power on your exit here. You light up those rears, get yourself spinning round and you've lost it all. But he's dealt with it nicely. The Haas driver's firing down towards the line. And what improvement will we see? We shall see a 3/10 improvement. It's a 26.4. A new Paul. Danny Van Rooten goes 26.666 just behind. Tomas Lamminen, a 26.580, followed by the second Alpine. Leonardo, who was sat at the top after a decent banker, only goes to P3 with a 26.658.
Here we go. So, Zorzo, Laminin, Tornalato, and, well, why did I say that top three? Because it's PSGL, it's all going to change still. But that's your top three as of yet. Deracourt will come down into the pit lane. He's the driver that's currently in 15th position as well. But right now, we're going to see some more laps coming in. Simeone will look towards a try and continue pushing on. Tulki is back in the pit lane, and Tulki will hope to also be heading out there soon. Tom 97, that's a great lap from him. Up to 6th position, we have to say, for him. Now let's see whether Simeone can try and take it back. Out of turn number 27, nearly losing the car. Will there be a trip back into the pit lane for him? No, he's going to continue on. He'll go for the line and he'll still find the improvement. He'll go up to P3. And even with a big moment at turn number 27, he still was committed, kept his foot in and takes third.
Oh, that was much needed for Sammy Simeone. That little snap at the rear, though, could have maybe put him up into P2, if not contention for Paul. He's lost some time, though, but he still put that lap in, and it was much needed. Gets himself in P3, a good starting position. If P1 and 2 could fight it out going down into turn 1 side by side, depending on their race start, he could just be there to pick up the capitalistic move and push on through as they fight each other. So P3, not really a bad shout to be in, but it's all eyes on Diego Zorzo for the race start from here, as he still sits himself at the top.
Absolutely, all still to be fought for. Larry Tulki now. He wants to join his teammate, and with how close the Haas's have been this season, all throughout different parts of the season, Tulki will definitely know that he has to be around where Diego Zorzo is on the grid. And also, as we mentioned, they are battling for the championship as well. They are the two drivers also contending for it, along with Reis Imtiaz, as we see the winner, incredibly, who finished 4th on the circuit, ending up as our winner due to all of the post-race stuff. He finds himself down in 16th position, but round to round things can change in terms of how the performances go. We had a really mixed up race at Zandvoort last time out. We had drivers absolutely everywhere. We had contact immediately between our title contenders off the start, and it was just one of those races where you had different strategies meeting in the middle right at the end. So it definitely was one of the races of the season, but I think deciding a race of the season is going to be incredibly hard by the end of it, and I think definitely this will 100% be a contender. With 3 DRS zones back to back to back, it just creates wild action as Booba, first of all, trying to qualify for that race right now. He's in 10th. Let's see whether we can improve it on this lap.
This is where it matters now, as he gets himself ready to fire it round to the left into turn 1, collects himself on turn 2, and then needs to be careful not to run it too wide as he comes towards that little flicker turn 3. Turn number 4, another corner that can cost you dramatically, but it's dealt with well. He didn't run too wide on the curbs, because if you do so, you get yourself beached out and you spin yourself around. But now as he comes through the treacherous first sector, another part of the track that can cost you so much time and potentially race-ending events, Booba is doing very well, and he finishes off first sector a 10th up, just shy of a 10th and a half as he comes around turn number 13. 14 ahead of him. Don't forget, 16 is also a corner that can cost you running wide. Pick up that understeer, slide it out to the outside. There's a runoff there to use at your disposal, but you can invalidate it very easily. But for Booba, this Red Bull driver, he's certainly sending it full pelt here. Did not pick up that invalidation, didn't run it wide, although it can be easily done. Turn 22, the next corner that could be potentially putting you under threat. And he's almost 3/10 up as he caught a rear slide there, but he controlled it well, keeps himself going in a straight line. I don't know if it would have cost him any time, because it did look like it was dealt with very easily, but he's flat to the floor. That rear wing is open, and he slams on the brakes down to 27. Can he make the time? Can he get the improvement? He was almost 3/10 up with that slide out of 22. Did it cost him any time? Is it going to be dramatic? Where's he going to place himself? He's only gone a 10th and a half up, so he's cost himself a 10th in total throughout the lap. It could have happened in the third sector, like towards the end, even 27. You run that a little bit wide and you just don't get your traction down.
Absolutely. Zorzo, Simeone, Justin Ayert, Bale and Telekes are done. So is Biega. So is Tom 97 along with Cavero as well. Now we look to Tulki, who went to fourth first of all. Imtiaz is improving by 19 thousandths of a second. That is through the first sector of the lap. Still has a lot to do in the second and third sector. The pole man right now, Zorzo, is confident that he'll be able to remain there and he doesn't have much to extract from that car. But he is a driver who has set the pace by a good distance. Now the question is, can anyone beat him? We're about to see the second sector time for Ray's Imtiaz to see whether he'll be a contender for pole position. He's up by a tenth of a second.
It may be good enough to get himself P3, maybe even P2 as it stands, but it's Tomas Lamminen who is currently leading ahead. I'll put us on board quickly with him as he comes down the third sector towards 27. He's closest, the one to challenge for pole position, and will it come for the McLaren? Tomas Lamminen, flat to the floor. He's going to get that rear wing open, deploy everything he's got, burn it all, push to the line, and what is he going to do? It's a pole position by 6 thousandths of a second. He found it. It's the fine margins that matter, but Ray's Imtiaz crosses the 6th position, couldn't find the time in the end. Tomas Lamminen pulls it out of the bag by the finest of margins, 6 thousandths of a second. You love to see it.
You absolutely do. Typical PSGL standard stuff by the end of qualifying. And Lamminen disqualified last weekend after crossing the line in first. He was never going to just go down and let it hurt his confidence. He's come back, fighted back even stronger to start the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix from the front of the field.
Absolutely, with Diego Zorzo lining up in second, Sammy Simeone, Larry Tulki, Ryan Grob, Ray's Imtiaz, Leonardo Tonoletto, I'm sorry, first time saying that, Danny Van Rooten, Tom 97 and JST, making out your top 10, Buba, Marcel Biega, Zach Miles, Linus Donovan, Tristan Derbico, Billant, Alexi, who else? I missed the last part, no! Alexi, Justin Ertz, Pascal, and Sasha Neeb to finish off qualifying there. But now is the time where I bring you this corner. While we now await this race restart, we can have a little chat going over the constructors, going over the standings at the moment. I've not really been here for F3, so Omi, would you take us away with what we are expecting to see?
Yes, absolutely. Apologies for making you rush through the qualifying results at the end. I'm just first of all super impressed by Tomas Lamminen, but you would expect that from him after what happened last time out. Well, first of all, as we take a look at the championship standings, Zorzo, Imtiaz, Tulki, contenders for this right now at this stage. And it's going to be really exciting to see who's going to come out on top. You've got Zorzo, Imtiaz, and Tulki not separated by much. They're all going to be contending for this championship. Molnar has dropped down to reserve, so that's information. So that's important for you to know. Quintino still is the leader, but we don't, of course, expect that to remain that way. With him, of course, being promoted now to F2, so the lead would probably go by the end of today if Zorzo, Imtiaz, and Tulki can get a good result. But Tomas Lamminen, now he was the driver who I touched upon earlier in terms of we had Zorzo, Imtiaz, and Tulki not have a good race last time out. Zorzo was still able to get an 8th, but it wasn't really good for all three of them. We had the situation where Imtiaz and Tulki hit each other out on lap 1, so that was contact between those two. Zorzo was in position, and then he also had issues. He went off the road, and he found himself not getting the highest points and not taking advantage. So it was going to open the door for Tomas Lamminen. In the end, it did not, and we found ourselves with Tomas Lamminen, who got disqualified with Sammy Simeone for supporting each other, of course, being, of course, in different teams. So that's why their disqualification took place. So yeah, those are the drivers definitely to keep an eye on. Buba as well in 7th. I think that's gone pretty unnoticed. He's just been getting the critical performances in, has Buba. And then we find ourselves with Donovan. Danny Van Rooten, who is really impressed as a reserve, considering a 2nd place in Canada, also a 3rd place in Britain, and other than that, he's not scored points, and he finds himself in 9th. But he's a driver when he comes here in PSGL, immediately has pace. Simeone rounds on the top 10, then Biega, Ayertz, Elekes, our winner, who finished 4th on the road last time out, but due to everything that happened in front, he got promoted up. Then Ryan Grob, Zach Miles, Lewis Walker, Tornalato, Tristan Debecourt, and then Cavero, who's been promoted from F5. He had a gap of 58 points in that championship to 2nd place, which is absolutely extraordinary. So he got promoted up, so he's just joined us last round. He's in right now 19th. Then Sasha Neeb, Tom 97, Riley McKay is not part of the league anymore. JSD, Curiel Ranieri, and then Kuba. Giovanna Kennis, Harry Lyon, GP7 round out D29. Classified drivers across this season with the bottom four still yet to score some points, and I'm sure they'll be looking to change all of that starting from today.
Well, let's hope that Diego Zorzo is the driver who can get back up to Gabriel Quintino. He's not going to get any more points as Quintino as we get into round number 9. Still 3 rounds to go after we have our nice little Christmas break. But everybody's excited for that one, especially the drivers. They get some much needed R&R before they have to come back for what will be the final 3 rounds. Diego Zorzo, though, technically could be within the closest chance of getting the championship, although Reyes Imtiaz is just behind him there on 60 points. Like you said, it could happen. It's very close to happening, and it's very exciting to see.
Just a point separates Zorzo and Imtiaz, and Tulki isn't far back either if some chaos happens, and he'll just be looking to score points. He'll just be looking to score more points than Imtiaz and Zorzo, and then if he can do that, he's absolutely in contention. And F3 continues to deliver in title fights as well. Most likely in this tier, every season, you are most likely to get a title fight. If you have a dominant driver, there's a huge chance they'll get promoted up to F2. We had that last season with Ben Marples and also Angelo. Both of those drivers found themselves promoted up to F2 mid-season. So if you are getting a dominant champion, or if you are getting a dominant driver in the category, you're most likely to see them getting promoted. So this tier is always the nice one in terms of you're most likely going to get a title fight every season. We had that last season, and it looks like we're going to be in for it again with 3 drivers in the mix at this stage. So really looking forward to seeing the next few rounds after this with Japan, Vegas. I'm sure that's going to be chaotic, and then ending the season in Bahrain. Lots of fun still to come here in PSGL.
Absolutely. We'll take another quick look at the calendar. As you just mentioned, we have Japan, then another little break week, Vegas and Bahrain. But this is round 9. 8 races completed, and the championship's getting very, very close. You saw it for yourself. Reyes Imtiaz, he needs to get up there now in the Grand Prix. He needs to put the pressure on against Diego Zorzo. You know, Zorzo, it's 1 point between the two, but he is qualifying in a higher position, in a much better position than Reyes Imtiaz. Although they do follow the same sort of flag under FVR tonight, they are complete and utter rivals, and they are going to be trying to finish above each other, because when it comes down to championship, that is what matters the most. But I'll tell you what, Japan, Vegas and Bahrain, it's going to be a very interesting final 3 rounds.
Indeed. We had low attendance compared to this round last time out at Zandvoort, and there was a lot of jokes going on about how basically it was very nearly a F3R grid, about how half the drivers in the field in that race were F3R as well, and how they were taking over F3, and there are still lots of them in the field. And of course, let everyone in the live chat, do let us know your thoughts as we are moments away from getting going. Do let us know your thoughts on who is going to win the race. You can also give us your thoughts on the championship. We love a bit of championship predictions as well, even though most of the time it's just going to be wrong by the time that we get to the 12th round at Bahrain, and that's what we love, just the unpredictable nature. And we come to a circuit which most likely could deliver the race of the season with what we've seen in prior seasons here at PSGL on this game. With the very powerful DRS, it means that we do get a lot of 3 wide, possibly even 4 wide around this venue. I remember PCF1 last season had 5 wide for the lead heading down to turn number 27. So we've seen it all. We've seen it all, and we're about to add a bit more to the collection.
Absolutely. You know, you couldn't have picked a better track before we get ourselves away for Christmas. I absolutely love Jeddah. Saudi Arabia is my #1 track. I love to drive it, love to watch it. Those 27 turns come at you very, very quickly. It is still technically classed as one of the shorter laps as well, just shy of 1:30. We should round about C for in terms of race pace, maybe even a little bit slower than that. But again, it's those turns, but they're all, most of them are flat. You're absolutely on the power, especially coming through sector 1. I can't stress it enough. As soon as you get around turn number 4, you do not lift off that throttle. You are planted to the floor, firing it round those turns, and there are 7 turns to navigate before you even think of getting on the brakes again. Unless you catch yourself a moment and a slide, it's going to get very interesting here on lap 1. That's all I can say here. This is going to be mental, crazy business, and I'm very excited to be here to be a part of it. You're not seeing me very often this season, but hopefully you shall see me a little bit more next season. But for now, the drivers are getting themselves ready. They're about to apply their setups. They're our trackside, and we get ourselves ready for what, 29 laps? 25 laps, sorry? 25 laps of racing, I think? Absolutely. 25 laps of Jeddah Corniche circuit, and I'm excited to do this.
Going around the circuit because we have the Commentators Christmas Cup coming up around this venue, which if you are a commentator and you want to get involved, then you can contact Nathan Richards on that as well, our E-Series commentator. So make sure you do get involved. And you can find out more information on our social medias here at PSGL. If you would like to battle with other commentators here at PSGL around this exact circuit, it's going to be quite a lot of fun. So yes, pretty good, Corey, that you're good around this circuit. You might have a chance of winning.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. As soon as we get going for this little Christmas racing event, I'm going to be absolutely flat to the floor coming into Jeddah, elbows out, absolutely everything. I must have put about 100 laps in this track. Although I'm not quite the pace of some of these S3 drivers, maybe not even the pace of F5 drivers, but I'm certainly going to give it my all to get this victory. You know, I absolutely love Jeddah, so I'm going to give it everything to try and take that victory.
Yeah, I don't know how much of my support you'll be getting, however. Depends what who I'm engineering. I've been engineering Max a few times. But here we go, we're about to get underway.
5 lights, and the grid is hot. It is go, go, go for round number 9 here in Saudi Arabia. Tomas Lamanen gets away well. So does Diego Zorzo. Almost had a move, but he's conceding straight out of the way. Sammy Simeone straight to that outside line, which switched to the inside. Takes P2 away from Diego Zorzo. He's had a disaster start. That's not what he wanted. Down the field, Sasha Need making places straight out of the gate. What a beautiful start for them. Oh, we have a retirement already. No! Virtual safety car. Oh, Alexei has got himself in a moment and he's out. And he's only made it by turn number 4. And that is all it takes, especially around a circuit as treacherous as this.
Already lost one of 20 drivers that were starting this one. So, Carrero in only his second F3 race will not be able to see the flag. It'll be disappointment for him, so he's clearly had a moment with Ranieri on the opening lap, and it's so tight. You could see we were focused on the battle for second place. It was getting so tight between those two. It was always going to be tight further back. It's even tighter, and it gets even more wild further back in the field. So there was always going to be someone having a bit of contact, but disappointment to lose the driver already, and Carrero finds himself as our first retirement, hopefully our only retirement, as we go back to green here on the streets of Jeddah.
We are absolutely green. Oh, Diego Zorzo was a little caught out with that. He ran it a little bit wider at 22, but he is going again well. He's got his teammate right on his rear tail. Larry Tulke could be sizing up for a move here. Could it happen? Teammate rivalry, teammate fighting each other, or will we see some form of team orders to keep themselves going and what could be the victory? I doubt we'll see that. Everybody wants to chase their first win, but for now, things are going very, very smoothly once again. Tomas Lamanen takes that fastest lap as you expect. We had that virtual safety car, but now the lap times will start to flood in. We'll take a quick little look at the tyre strategies so you get a bit of a... you get to know what is to happen. There you go, yeah, I've just pulled it up. We have mediums from P1 down to P5. Hard runners for Reyes, Imtiaz, Danny Van Rooten and Leonardo Tonelato. I'm going to have to learn that. Tonelato. Okay. And then JST Bulba on the mediums. Back to hards for Tom 97 and Zach Miles. Tristan Derbico mediums. Billent Linus Donovan on hards. And then mediums all the way down to Pascal, who's had to box again. So that must have been that moment with Alexi Covero. It's a bit of a moment, a bit of an unfortunate situation. But for now, we get our eyes back on the front.
Absolutely. Biega also had to change, I'm guessing, his front wing, so he also had some sort of damage on the opening lap. But the question about, will the two Haas drivers battle? They're part of the same team in game. They're also part of the same esports team, both being part of FVR as well. But at the same time, they're both a contender for this championship. There's not a lot between those two, and it's going to get even closer right now. Simeone is about to go for the lead. DRS open, and surely that will be one of the many moves that we'll see around this circuit to the outside line. The kick Sauber straight into the lead, and you'll get past Thomas Laminin, who will get the chance to fight back down towards turn 1. Zorzo and Tulke still remaining in order. Not the best exit for Thomas Laminin as they all tuck in, and they'll try and make some moves. Oh, into the wall in the background. That's the Williams of Sasha Neeb and Justin Ayot, both battling with Linus Donovan.
Oh yeah, we have moves going round left, right and centre. Oh, there's Hassi side by side. Diego Zorzo fighting and defending against his teammate. You saw that just at the end of it. Diego Zorzo managing to keep that podium position, but Larry Tulke, he's right on that rear diffuser. That teammate wants that position. He's the faster driver. Give it to me, please. That's what's going through his mind right now. But as we stay eyes on, look at how close he is. He's almost bump drafted him through the first sector. Zorzo's had a bit of a moment. He's losing a little bit of time. There's a 5-10 gap opening up to Tomas Lamanen. But can Larry Tulke get past and use the pace that he's got so early on in this race to try and catch up to what is Sammy Simeone leading after a masterclass start, jumps up into P2 against Diego Zorzo and now leads after the DRS. Larry Tulke still staying very, very close to his teammate at the minute, but can he get past? Will that door open for him? He's looking to try and get it, but it's just not coming as of yet. JST, also a driver getting very close to Reyes Imtiaz. This is perfect for Diego Zorzo. If JST can keep the pressure on, Imtiaz drops positions, Diego Zorzo will inherit the championship lead. I'm not sure if it'll be this race, but maybe next race. If he has a good result, he will take it away from what has been a promoted Gabriel Quintino. There is the swaps once again. Diego Zorzo, is he going to have to defend? He is defending his teammate very, very hard. Larry Tulke stuck behind again, but here comes Ryan Grubb. Ryan Grubb's had a perfect run, but Larry Tulke must have had to burn some of that battery to stay ahead.
Absolutely must have indeed. Now, look for the moves. JSD ahead of Danny Van Rooten. You add Reyes Imtiaz in 8th position. Reyes Imtiaz having to think about the championship, having to keep his nose clean. He's already much more down compared to his rival at this stage. Tulke is also trying to go on the attack of Diego Zorzo. He's looked like the more attacking driver so far in the early stages of this race, has Larry Tulke. And remember, as I mentioned, Tulke still absolutely in with a shot of this title, and of course Tulke only finds himself 8 points away from Reyes Imtiaz, who's only 1 point off Zorzo, so that's 9 points in it between the two Haas drivers in this title battle at this stage. So they will absolutely be battling, and you could already see them going side by side. But what they've got to consider is they've got a hungry Ryan Grubb. He wants to go on the attack, he wants to try and make some moves, and we're watching with Larry Tulke on board with a Haas driver who will be seeing Zorzo directly ahead, and we'll also be seeing a battle very shortly between Simeone and also Tomas Lamanen.
That's certainly to come as we look on towards Sammy Simeone now as he looks to that outside line. That DRS is beautiful coming out of the third sector. Moves being swapped constantly. Larry Tulke not in a position to make the move, but he's still staying very, very close to Zorzo. These two are going to have to fight it out all race long. Diego Zorzo showing his elbows out, not letting Larry Tulke get past yet. He's had to defend 3 times so far. Bilant makes a move on Zach Miles, gets that bit. Balint, sorry, apologies, who makes the move on Zach Miles, gets through on that one, but he's still 1.6 seconds behind Tristan Derbacourt, so that DRS will not help him. He's going to have to use the battery to try and defend that position, or try and gain and get back in the DRS of Tristan to use it as a defensive tool against Zach Miles.
Once again, Tulke pushing Diego Zorzo through the opening couple of corners on this racetrack, and it seems like he's really the driver with the confidence at this stage, and he will need it, being the driver who is further down in the championship, 9 points away from Zorzo. So he'll want to score every single point as well, and every little he is able to do will help him when it gets to the final round in Bahrain, and you can see that he's going to be getting very close, as is he going to be able to look for the move in a few moments time, as he'll continue to get close, and it's going to be close as well between Simeone and Tomas Lamanen as we go through turn number 22 and now heading down to turn number 27. Zach Miles and Balint Nelikes. That's a battle that has been going on for a little bit of a while now between these two drivers, and they're switching once again. Here we go though, here we go for the lead, and that is getting through. Now looking forward to the inside. Tulke was trying to get through on Diego Zorzo, the two title contenders. JSD with a bit of a snap out of turn number 27. Tomas Lamanen though found himself with the lead by the time that he got to turn number 27. Now here we go for the lead. Does Diego Zorzo go for it? That's absolutely brilliant from Diego Zorzo. Can he get in front? Lamanen hangs on. Zorzo will be sent out wide. And take a look at that. Tulke now finds himself behind Ryan Grubb. Tulke, the driver on the attack, now has lost out. It's Grubb in fourth, Simeone in third, Zorzo, and then Lamanen still somehow in the lead.
Laminen managing to keep that lead after Diego Zorzo went for a big move, trying to pass all these drivers. You saw them 3 wide at one point coming down that pit straight, but luckily for Zorzo, or maybe even luckily for Laminen, he manages to keep that position. Oh, there goes Simeone, big dive into turn 13. Can he make that one stick? He's certainly going to try. He's not letting Zorzo keep that position. He pushes him back. He falls down once again. Diego Zorzo just cannot seem to stay ahead of that Kick-Sauber. Sammy Simeone certainly bringing the fight to the front here. But Ryan Grob is looking fairly close and fairly racy to press on against Diego Zorzo. Can he get the early move on? There goes Larry Tulke looking for it. He's just not there yet. There we see Danny Van Rooyen and JST side by side. Coming into turn 22 on the exit. JST stays ahead, but he's opened the door for Reyes Imtiaz to have a run against Danny Van Rooyen. This is perfect for Imtiaz. He needs to try and finish ahead of Diego Zorzo, but he's still quite far behind as it stands in terms of car placements. He's looking for a double. Can he make it the double on the V-carb as well? He cannot. He's still side by side with Danny Van Rooyen. Can you believe it? They're giving it everything. Reyes Imtiaz wants that position, and it's 3 wide coming down towards the line. He's opened the door for a Fastly and Arnold to get on the mix. They're going to send it into turn 1. Danny Van Rooyen has been side by side with the car for about for at least a full sector, a third of a lap, and he's still going at it.
Still going at it indeed, so close down to turn number 4, and it's going to be Tornolato ahead of Van Rooyen, ahead of Imtiaz. Tornolato making that work absolutely brilliantly there, and this is going wild right now on the circuit. That's another switch. That's Tulke ahead of JST as they run wheel to wheel, and you've got 3 DRSs on the circuit, but we're seeing action at other parts of the circuit. Every corner right now here at the Jeddah Corniche is becoming an overtaking opportunity. Tulke ahead of JST, and this is definitely getting to a point where we're only on lap number 7. You'd think that is lap number 25 every lap. By the way, these drivers are going at it. It's all action wherever you look at the field. The 2 Hasses after all of that somehow are back together and still in 4th and 5th is Zorzo ahead of Tulke. They've maintained order. Getting closer moves Buba. Reyes Imtiaz is really on the back foot. He's having to think about the championship, and it was getting really close between those 2 drivers. And here we go. You can see Imtiaz slightly wide. Buba's going to get the opportunity now to try and make the move, and he'll be gaining all the way. Meanwhile, you're going to have JST putting the pressure on Larry Tulke as well. And can Buba pull alongside, or will it be Tom 97 to go for the move? Here we go though. First of all, further up in the field, JST, can he go the long way around? He'll get his foot to the floor. The Red Bull side by side. Buba stays ahead as the 2 McLarens are going to switch. Welcome to the race lead club to Ryan Grob, who's going to take P1 over the line, and it's going to be Grob, then Laminen, Simeone, the top 3 as they were, and then we're going to find us the Zorzo. JST gets ahead of Larry Tulke, and Tom 97 got ahead of his teammate.
Oh wow, fights going on everywhere, and it's only lap 8 we have, including this lap. What, 18 to go, if you want to count 8 involved? Or is it 17 including this one? I'm just going to lose my head for a second here, because that was insane racing. We had battles going on all over the place. Positions, left, right and centre are being taken. Ryan Grob finds himself in the lead. It's a McLaren 1-2 lockout as we get going into lap 8. But can they keep it? JST fighting it out still, trying to get that moved on Diego Zorzo, but he's just not close enough as of yet. The DRS is going to come in Sector 2 and Sector 3. Sector 3 is where we see the most moves coming on early on. That DRS straight is powerful. The drivers are using it to their utmost advantage, aided with slipstream, maybe even a bit of deployment from that battery, and overtakes are coming at the click of a finger.
No time for maths right now at this stage. Due to how much action we're seeing on the circuit, we've got absolutely no time to work out at all anything at this stage. But here we go. We're back to the slipstreaming stuff. Down towards turn number 27. Now we wait to see where the moves are going to be. Okay, so the McLarens remain in order, but at some point they're going to have to get on with it. As Ryan Grob, not with a good exit, and that's going to be Zach Miles getting through and into the pit lane. Coming into the pit lane is going to be Ryan Grob, so he does not want to be a part of all of this squabbling going on the circuit, and it will continue on the run towards turn 1. Keep an eye on the Alpine in the background of Tornolato, going to the inside of Tulke. Tulke having to think about the championship, may open the door for Danny Van Rooyen, who was trying to get involved. That would have been audacious, heading down to turn number 4, but he wasn't able to do it, and it's going to be Tulke ahead as Tornolato backs out of it.
Yeah, very smart there from Tornolato. He would have had to back out of that one going into turn 4. That is not a place you can get yourself in with a move, and you need to set yourself up top the best end of Sector 1 possible, as you are flat to the floor and you cannot afford to be off that racing line. You'll just lose time like pouring water into a sieve. It's never going to hold, but for now, Larry Tulke managing to keep that P5 after what was a bit of an attack. He's looking like he's getting close to JST. This is where Larry Tulke could come back and shine. He was fighting out with Diego Zorzo for quite a while, but now JST is his next target.
Absolutely. His target indeed, Ranieri getting a 3-second time penalty. Tulke once again getting close to JST, but going different. We saw with Ryan Grob, who has found himself 11.3 seconds away now from the next running driver, but we're focused on the action. Middle off screen at this stage as we take a look at Zorza getting closer and closer, but this is such a hard race for the three title contenders. You've got cars overtaking left, you've got cars overtaking right, and all the while you want to battle, you want to have fun with them, you are also trying to keep your nose clean. But here we go into the pit lane with Lariden. You're also going to see Zorza and JST. Those are the three diving it into the pit lane. Everyone else continuing and going round another lap.
Yeah, Sammy Simeone back. Well, first time leading. Oh no, he's back in the lead of the race after fighting it out with Tomas Lamanen earlier on as we got going into the first stint. Some of the medium runners already boxing, slapping on those hard compound tyres to the end now. 15 laps, certainly doable. They've ran these for 9 laps, but some other drivers choosing to stay out, going an alternate longer strategy. Will their tyres be at the beneficial point towards the end of the Grand Prix? They're going to have to try and maximise their lap now, try and get all the time, try and push as hard as they can to dive into that pit lane, get those fresh boots on and carry on towards into the second stint. We've seen one VSC so far after Alexi had a little moment where I believe it was Ranelli, but Ranelli 18 seconds behind. He's not doing too well, especially picking up the track limit penalties. It's unfortunate. Can he get closer? He needs something to try and bring him back into this race.
Absolutely, that is right now what he'll be hoping for. Tom 97, it's good to see him being able to fight after remaining near the pack for most of their season so far. We've not been able to see him fighting too much, so it's great to be able to see him in contention right now. That's a move for Danny Van Rooten, he gets through. Donovan also making a move on Zach Miles, and here we go. Won't be the only one who gets past the Ferrari. You've got the kickstart of Eliquez, who also is fighting away past as well as more drivers coming to the pit. That's Simeone and that is Tulke, and now there will be the chance for Eliquez to take the position on Donovan over the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Eliquez is straight through, nice and easy, aided with that DRS. Now you see the hard runners, Danny Van Rooten, Leonardo, Reyes Imtiaz, all staying out now, going longer. They need to go for at least 4, maybe even push it to lap 16, 4 more laps, all lap 16. They could slap it in and have the benefit of those fresh medium tyres towards the end. But is the drop-off going to come hard and fast for these drivers? The hard tyres are going to slowly slip away now as these medium runners come back out and gain time on their drivers ahead.
That is right now exactly what the drivers and their engineers as well also considering as well. The pit stop phase, a critical part to remain in contention, and also trying to get the best track position, being in the lower end of the DRS train for the lead can be risky, because that's the phase where everyone just wants to dive bomb. Everyone wants to try and get themselves as close as possible to give themselves a realistic chance when we get all the way down to lap number 25 in the final stages of the race. But now back down, the prime overtaking opportunity it seems in this race track as well, down to us 27, and we're about to see another one possibly in a few moments time. Tornado this time around deciding to sit behind, but Donovan will be the one making and dishing out the overtakes on the run to 27.
Yeah, coming down into turn 27 seems to be the place the drivers favour most to get past that DRS. He's doing it beautifully for them, but then you can see Linus Donovan is 3 seconds away from Tom 97, so these three are just going to be running their own little battle, their own little race at the minute before they implement their pit stop strategies, and then it is all full system push, full systems go all the way to the end of the Grand Prix. We have some moves going on further down the field. The McLarens fighting each other, but Sammy Simeone is in net P1 as it stands after he is the first leading in the pit stops. So he got those fresh hards. He's leading against the McLarens, who did have a 1-2 lockout at one point. Sammy Simeone is really on the ball today. He didn't qualify P1, but he certainly brought the fight to the front.
Yeah, this is a critical battle as well. These are the drivers who will have track position once the drivers in first, second, third at this stage come into the pit, and all of those drivers in that train right now and everyone ahead of Simeone. When they come into the pit lane, these will be the drivers who will be leading, and these will be the drivers that they'll need to pass. So this is right now the battle for the net race lead, which will become the official lead once the drivers ahead come into the pit lane. So that's what they're battling for at this stage, as here is top 97. It's been getting close to MTS all the way through, and that's a switch. That's a switch for P1 as Van Rooten gets through on the run to the 27th turn of the circuit, and we could possibly see some more switches as well in the battle for the net race lead when they get down to 27, and they're making their way right now.
Absolutely. Ryan Grob seems to be the one putting the pressure on Sammy Simeone and does get on through. Zach Miles gets ahead of Linus Donovan. They're just exchanging DRS now. So does Elikas, and they're all just swapping left, right and centre. It's not like they're just keeping going now, keeping the pace and staying in the train, but Sammy Simeone also loses out to Tomas Lamanen there. Oh, almost a bit of a moment for the Haas driver. I think that was Larry Tolkien. No, it was Diego Zorzo, who almost caught himself a bit of an unfortunate situation into turn one. He has kept himself going well. He's not lost too much time. Boba not close enough to capitalise on that slight little mistake. But for now, we're still going strong, and we wait for the hard runners to get themselves into the pits, so then we can see exactly where we're at in terms of strategy. So 13 laps, 12 laps completed. We are on lap 13, still 12 laps to go. Anything can change. This is racing. It only takes one moment, one mistake to get yourself out of contention for victory, or in worst case scenario, not finishing the Grand Prix. Everybody's pushing at their mightiest potential as we finish off the first stint.
Indeed. So that is what's taking place at this stage, is all of them try and keep it clean. All of them try and keep it together at this phase of the race. And Tulki, let's see then, can he try pull off a move? He's been following closely to Simeone. We're going to get a few pit stops now coming into play. So you've got Van Rooten, you've got Imtiaz diving it into the pit lane. You've got a switch. You've got a switch right now for the net race lead as well. It's getting very tight between all of them at this stage as you make our way through. Here we go, as we join some of the battling live. It's the recop of JST who's getting very close in the background, and he's just got ahead of Larry Chalky, and I think he might also attempt the move on Sammy Simeone on the run. Towards stand number one, he is going to try and get past Sammy Simeone, and he'll get past two on the first turn, so he already got through as a big stab in the background for Zorzo. He got past Chalky, and now he gets past Simeone, so JST getting himself behind the two McLarens, and that is right now how we find ourselves on lap number 14. You've got Buba also on the back of the two Haas drivers. Tristan Dericourt, Danny Van Rooten in 14th. Now all of these drivers still to be promoted to higher places once the drivers ahead come into the pit lane. But once the drivers ahead do come in and you have everyone in one clear phase of the race, is going to get very interesting. Talking about interesting, we've got the two Mercedes switching places as Ranieri retires in the pit lane.
Oh, excuse me. I'm going to call this out now, but look at where Danny Van Rooten came out of the pits. He has just boxed for fresh mediums, and he's in the fight with the race leaders, the net race leaders who have completed their pit stops. They're on hard compound tyre, and he's right there behind them in the DRS. This is absolutely beautiful for Van Rooten. If he can keep on going and make the moves as he's just done on his teammates so far, with these fresh medium tyres in their prime optimal condition, he could just absolutely pull away from these lot. This is beautiful for Van Rooten, but he just needs to get a little bit closer to the cars in front to start making moves. Zach Miles gets past Tom 97 as he's into the pits with Elikas and Linus Donovan to swap to those medium compound tyre.
Here we go. Once again, making our way down to the first turn. Gonna get tight once again. So the recarb this time can't get through. It is getting tight as the two Hasses put the pressure on Simeone. And who's gonna appear in front? So it's gonna be Simeone ahead of Zorzo. The Haas is going wheel to wheel. Two title contenders going wheel to wheel. Zorzo ahead. Van Rooten gets ahead. The driver on the charge on the medium compound tyres. He won't be the only one. The Ferrari of Ray Imtiaz arriving on the scene. He'll be the next one to try and get past Tristan Dericourt. And once again, we're in that phase now where everyone on the mediums goes on the charge, goes on the attack. So it's basically Sanderwood from last time all over again. Lap number 15 out of 25. And now this is when the moves will come. No matter what part of the circuit it is, the driver on the mediums will all want to just get through it immediately when they sense an opportunity.
Absolutely, they need to. Before the mediums start to wear in, before they lose that advantage and they start to get to the point where the hards balance out and they sort of in between. The mediums running the same pace, but here goes Van Rooten on Diego Zorzo. Got it done. Nice and bonny. The run he had coming down into second sector to finish off It was beautiful there, absolutely overspeeding through. Now set sights on Sammy Simeone, who was leading at one point, but for now, it's Ryan Grob, Thomas Laminen and JST to be your current pole sitters as we await for Leonardo and Zach Miles to get themselves into the pits. We have virtual safety car, we've had a moment, Pascal is out. Why are we under VSC? What's happened? Sasha Neeb maybe? Something has happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Something has happened. We already had Ranieri retire a few laps ago, so someone must have lost their front wing. Something must have happened, and it means getting ahead. Tornalato, pinning under the virtual safety car, and he's got the lead on the circuit with the medium compound tyres attached.
I do not believe what has just happened. Tornalato has just had the mightiest of luck, and we are back to green flags. He's on fresh medium tyres, and he's flying through sector 1 now. Surely he's going to gap on Ryan Grob. 7-lap old for Grob. He's not even done a lap, Tornalato. That was beautiful timing, perfect timing. It slowed everybody down just enough for him to get out of the pits and get ahead of Ryan Grob. Oh my word, what an absolute strike of fortune. I can't believe that has just fell onto his lap.
That is absolutely incredible stuff, and it means that everyone wants to get on with it. And Grob isn't going without a fight. He'll want to take track position. And what the hard compound runners need to do, they all need to try and get themselves ahead of Leonardo Tornalato. What an interesting phase of the race! And we had earlier in real life Formula 2 in Monaco this year, we had an absolutely brilliant strategy, an audacious strategy by O'Sullivan to get from 14th on the grid to the victory. We could see something absolutely brilliant by Tornalato, but Grob's getting through. The McLarens are going on the charge. Laminin tries to get past as well. Look at this. Cars left, cars right. And we now find ourselves slipstreaming our way down towards turn 1. Grob with the lead. Then it'll be Tornalato with Laminin closing in all the way. Tornalato, can he defend? Laminin to the inside. Laminin trying to take the position. It'll be crucial for his race if he can do so. Can McLaren get a 1-2? So Tornalato is going to be in second place. We look further back. Haas is still together. Imtiaz ahead of Prima. It's all gone wild on Jeddah.
Absolutely, you see everybody now starting to close up. The DRS has no longer been broken. It's going down all the way down to P14. The only people out of it, Justin Hurts and Marcel Biega there just behind him. Linus Donovan and Sasha Neeb. Everybody's back fighting once again. We have 8 laps to go. And Danny Van Rooten goes for a send on Thomas Laminen in 13. Pulls it off beautifully, nice and controlled. Takes that podium away. But Leonardo, can he get the compound fired up? He must have been struggling with a bit of temperature there as Ryan Grob got through. But now, as those mediums heat up, as they get into the prime optimal condition, he needs to push back on and try and get past Ryan Grob and gap him, break that DRS, put him under pressure from Danny Van Rooten behind. But he just can't do it yet. Maybe now in sector 3, where the favoured overtaking opportunity comes in this DRS zone, will it happen? He has had a perfect run out of 22 and 23. He gets it done fairly easy. But Danny Van Rooten is also looking for it. He gets through as well. Those medium compound tyres providing the traction needed to get that speed, to get that exit. And both of the medium runners are through.
Both medium runners are through indeed. The hard runners will now need to try and stick with them. You can immediately see Grob is trying to go on the attack. Meanwhile, we're going side by side, getting to the inside, getting to the lead for Danny Van Rooten. Elekes is disqualified. So he'll be finding himself all the way to the back. Danny Van Rooten, though, to the lead, to the front of the field, as Tornalato is now in second place. 2 medium runners at the front, but the hard runners have done an absolutely extraordinary job to stick with them all the way through. They are still going to be contenders. That's just how powerful the DRS is. And you have the DRS that goes back to back around this circuit, meaning that everyone's able to stay close, everyone's able to make some moves, and we pass. This is a fabulous race, and we knew it was going to be exciting. We knew it was going to be chaotic, but the virtual safety car also fully bringing Tornalato into play as he tries to take a brilliant victory as well. And you can see them all flying their way through. Just look how close this battle is, all the way battling down to 12th position in the train for the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Something's happened with Marcel Viegas. Caught himself 9 seconds behind. That's unfortunate for him, but from P1 down to P12, a huge DRS train. All fighting it out. 7 laps to go. We come through Sector 3 on lap 18, and as it stands, Danny Van Rooten has managed to do it, but here goes Ryan Grob. Ryan Grob sends it to the outside line on that Alpine Tonaletto. I forgot his name already. This is just crazy stuff. I'm losing my head with the amount of action we're having here. JST looking for a move on Tomas Laminen. He's had the perfect run out of the final corner and he's looking to get it done easy. And here goes Leonardo straight through on turn 1. There's defensive move from that McLaren. Tomas Laminen, he's not going to let that go easy. He's still going to fight it, still side by side. But you can see JST just got the traction down that little bit better and pulls on ahead before we get into turn 4. Now flat to the floor once again through the worst, most treacherous part of Sector 1. This is where the drivers may struggle as the tyres start to burn away, as that grip starts to fall. Sammy Simeone had a bit of a better run there than Tomas Laminen, and he's getting closer, etching closer. The speed he's got, and he's going to send it for turn 13. He's just not close enough as of yet. He did try it, he did go for it. That door could have been open, but Tomas Laminen was prepared and managed to stick that turn 13 perfectly.
He absolutely did indeed. My word, is this getting close on the circuit. Right, quick update on the championship contenders. You've got Zorzo ahead of Tulki, being attacked by Tom 97, who's trying to go on the charge. You've got Imtiaz making his way through. Danny Van Rooten all the way to the lead. Here's Tom 97. Can he find a way through? Can he find a way through on the Haas of Larry Tulki? Zorzo will also be close in there as well, and they're all so close together, so there'll be moves left, right and centre. Welcome to the lead once again, Leonardo Tornalato. He gets ahead of Danny Van Rooten. These two have pulled a gap. As you would expect with the medium competent size, they've got a bit of a gap now. Ahead to Danny Van Rooten, so it's 6/10, but still the DRS belongs to Ryan Grob, and they will need to close in once again switching places now as Danny Van Rooten takes the lead once more. Sasha Neeb retires from the race in the pit lane. Here we go, it's getting close. Title contenders side by side. It's going to be Diego Zorzo versus Larry Tulki. Does it open the door for Tom 97? The Red Bull was getting on the power. The Red Bull pulls to the outside. Can Tom 97 get through into turn number 4? And Tulki's going to back out of it, and Tom 97 gets ahead.
Wow, he looked for that switch back. He got his Red Bull placed in the perfect position and forced Larry Tulki to back out of it before they got to turn 4. We see drivers do it. Turn 4 is not a place you want to race going side by side. You do not want to fight it through there. You need to try and get your racing line perfect. But he's now trying to fight on Diego Zorzo. You see the hard compounder tyre, the deficit now is falling away. These mediums are certainly starting to come into play for Tom 97. Moves are coming, and coming quick for this Red Bull.
They are coming quick indeed. I was thinking that he was going to go all the way around the outside, but he's about to get his opportunity once again. Donovan has got a 3-second time penalty. He's all the way at the back. Here we go, side by side, and that's going to be miles ahead of Larry Tulki. So Larry Tulki drops down another position, and now that's going to put Tulki and Imtiaz together. Zorzo will also surely drop down with the momentum that Tom 97 has at this stage. Tom 97 will look for the move. Tornalato gets to the lead once more. We look still further back to the rivals, going wheel to wheel. Title rivals at this stage, going side by side. Round the outside, Tom 97 is also having to defend when Zach Miles has entered into the mix. And Zach Miles, who would have been seeing Tom 97, wanted to try and get past Diego Zorzo. It's going to be Miles who gets ahead by the time that we cross the line to begin lap number 21 of what is an absolutely extraordinary PSGL race here in F3. Slightly wide for Miles. Now Tom 97 tries to fight back, but it's Zach Miles with the position, and he'll now be the next one to try and attack Zorzo for P7.
Oh, this is getting mighty on the side by side. Is that Racing Tias trying to get the move done? He is! He went for it in turn 4! I can't believe we just saw that! Why would he try and pull that off? Where is that Red Bull? That Red Bull's lost out to 10th! Racing Tias has got it, but Zach Miles had to put on a bit of a defence there.
That is absolutely brilliant. Tulki's dropped down, and that won't be doing any wonders for his title battle. Donovan becomes another retirement in the race. He is into the pit lane as well. But yes, a big dramatic moment there as we saw Imtiaz go for it into turn 4, taking all of the risks. Might be a championship contender, might have only 1 point in it to Diego Zorzo. Still went for it, still sent it, and still made the move and got past Tom 97. And now his momentum's been lost, and Booba, his teammate, is now going on the attack. So we could see the two Red Bulls go wheel to wheel in a few moments' time.
Absolutely, and we'll be straight there, ready to see this coming. Sector 3, there they go, side by side, predicted by the one and only Omi himself. There he goes, Booba goes through with these, and the grid is starting to shape up. Now the drivers, I expect, are going to start to recharge their battery. They're going to start to get themselves ready for the penultimate lap, the final lap. We may even see a drag race to the line as we come out of 27 on the final lap. The drivers get themselves ready for their end game to set themselves up for that final lap. So this is what they... Oh no! Tom's got a penalty! Tom 97, who's produced some mighty fine overtakes and brought us some nice entertainment to the screen, has picked up 3 seconds and now will lose out positions whatever he takes. He will lose them and drop down to P12.
It will be costly for his race when you've got a field where anything can happen, where you could easily see 3 cars, 4 cars eliminate themselves at once. You always want to be there to capitalize, but with a penalty that will not be helpful for him at all, and he's the only one in this battle that goes all the way down to 12. With the time penalty, so he will lose out majorly in a dramatic way as well. It'll be disappointment for him, but he finds himself right now in 11th. He'll want to try and get back past his teammate, but it was a brave, audacious, wild move from Imtiaz that got him behind Booba. It cost Tom 97 a lot of momentum at that stage, and Imtiaz got his reward. He was able to get through. Now he'll try and get past his teammate as we're back down to the best overtaking opportunities on this circuit. Let's see whether Tom 97 this time around can strike back. Don't also count out Laurie Chulke. He'll also be involved in the mix. He'll also want to go for it as well. And there's not going to be movement this time around into turn number 27, possibly on the exit though. Not the rest exit for Booba, and it will give an invitation to Tom 97 to draw alongside down the start-finish straight with a bit of battery use. He'll move up through as Tonelato takes the lead.
Tonelato straight back through once again. This Alpine certainly showing what he can do. He had that strategy on lock and benefited from that virtual safety car. His tyres are the freshest so far that we see on the track. Danny Van Rooten still trying to press on and put the power on. I've got to say, I've seen Van Rooten do some masterclass drives in the past, and maybe here today, like you mentioned earlier, normally finds himself in a podium, although being a reserve driver, he's looking at another one.
He wants it at the top step, Corey, this time around. He wants it to go all the way down to the top step of the podium. Has had a third, has had a second. Can he finally upgrade that to take the win in what has been a race where there's been so many contenders? You've still got 12 cars in it, in this DRS train. And it's going to be one that will go all the way down to the end. As you mentioned, could come down to a drag race to the line. Exactly what we had at Zandvoort. Here at Jeddah, it invites overtaking all the way down to the 27th and final corner of this circuit. Meaning that we could be in for a similar race all the way to the line once again. Right now, though, we're preparing ourselves to go on to the penultimate lap, the 24th and penultimate lap of the race as well, which is going to surely get really close as Tulki gets ahead of Booba. And you can see Zorzo now is going to try and pile that pressure on Simeone, and those two will try and get as many points as they can for the championship. Zorzo and Imtiaz still running in the points, and they'll try and go on the attack as we go side by side for the lead.
Oh, side by side, Danny Van Rooten looking for it. He got a bit of a rear end lockup. You saw that car sliding ever so slightly, a little bit of squabbling, a little bit of wobbling. But here comes Ryan Grob looking for an open door. It wasn't there yet. Van Rooten takes the lead here on the penultimate lap. Tornaletto is looking very, very good for race victory. But do not count out Ryan Grob or JST. They're both very close and within striking distance to do something about it. But even then, don't count out Sammy Simeone, who could potentially put the pressure on. We've still got another racing lap to go after this one. The drivers have been preparing, recharging those batteries, getting them in optimum condition for the final lap, because that is where it matters. These DRS zones are powerful. You can make moves with ease. So these are all about the final lap. It's all about the final sector, and they get themselves ready. Danny Van Rooten, though, pushing on. He's got half a second gap so far. He's had a beautiful first sector. He's into second sector, doing it well. It's not the fastest on the board that we can see, but he's certainly trying to breach that gap and break that DRS from Tornaletto, who's looking good for what could be the victory here tonight.
Absolutely. Here we go then, down towards turn number 27. Count Tornaletto to make the move. Grob closing in. JST closing in. It's going to get so close down to turn number 27. Van Rooten's going to have P1. Tornaletto is going to get ahead of Ryan Grob. He's going to stay ahead of Ryan Grob. JST all out of shape. Does it open the door for Thomas Laminin, the driver who started on pole, well, feels like hours ago. Now at this stage, as we continue to go side by side down towards turn 1, Van Rooten versus Tornaletto down to the first corner. It's going to be Van Rooten who's got it. For the moment, Tornaletto won't be able to get it on on a drag race, and Simeone is still going to be side by side with JST. JST just ahead. Then it's the McLarens of Rob ahead of Laminin, and now we're on the final lap. Now it's the battle between Danny Van Rooten and Tornalato, and don't count out, as we mentioned, Ryan Grob.
Absolutely, you cannot count him out. He's had a beautiful drive here tonight, and he's sitting very, very close and within a striking distance. See a Haas running wide. Diego Zorzo opens the door for his rival to get on through. He's going to outscore him. Oh, it's not going to be by much. Diego Zorzo's passed by Zach Miles as well. Look at him coming into turn 13. There's a spinning Red Bull. Is that Booba? He's had a moment. He's got himself sliding. But Tom H is also fighting on Zach Miles. The side-by-side as we come through turn number 15. This is where it gets interesting. 16 even. Battles, battles, battles. But as we get going into 13, look at the Haas. The Haas are fighting with that Ferrari. He wants it now. He wants it in 22. But it's not coming yet. Diego Zorzo knows what's at stake. Larry Tolkien goes on through and his teammate though, certainly. Danny Van Rooten is going to concede it out to Tornaletto, but I think this is tactical unless he tries to defend. He is going to try and defend. Who's going to have the DRS coming down the pit straight? This is where it matters. Ryan Grob staying there within a striking distance. It's a drag race to the line, and who's going to take it? But for now it's Leonardo who does take the victory. It was seen since he got that VSC pit stop, and Danny Van Rooten just falling short, but look at how close those McLarens were. They were hundredths away, 200ths away from potentially getting themselves in there. Laminin lines up third, Ryan Grob fourth, JST, Simeone, Reyes Imtiaz, Zach Miles, Laura Tulke, Bulba, and Zorzo falls out of the points. Can you believe it? It all happened on the final lap. Wow.
All happened on the last lap, and that's exactly what we were predicting. At no stage when both drivers were in the same race that we had Zorzo behind Reyes Imtiaz, and right when it mattered on the last lap, we had Imtiaz ahead, and he is going to outscore to take the net lead of this championship. And PSGL, start to finish, continues to deliver. What a race on the streets of Jeddah, which went, as we predicted, all the way down to the line.
Oh my word. It was a drag race to the line, and we knew it was coming. It always happens in Saudi Arabia, and there it was. Leonardo Tornaletto takes the victory with Danny Van Rooten. Although he's had that P3, he's had that P2, lines up second after he tried to chase that victory. He would have had all podiums this round if he could have made that stick. But it's unfortunate for him. Thomas Laminin lining up third, finishing your podium sitters. Ryan Grob, JST, Sammy Simeone, Reyes Imtiaz, Zach Miles, Larry Tulke, and Boba doing the top 10. Outside of the points, Zorzo, Tom 97, Justin Ertz, Marcel Biega, Tristan Derbicourt, and then DNFing from the Grand Prix. We have Linus Donovan, Sasha Neeb, Bilan Elikas, Pascal, and Alexei. So, wow. That was beautiful. I love Jeddah. Absolutely adore Jeddah. But now we're going to get ourselves to the interview room and try and have a word with some of these drivers of what we've just witnessed. An absolute fantastic fire-ridden race.
What we've just witnessed in typical PSGL fashion, a chaotic race, overtaking left, right, centre, drag race to the line, battling all the way through, a huge moment for the championship on the last lap, just bold, brilliant, wheel-banging PSGL stuff all the way on that last lap. And it would be great if we can speak to our top three after what was some unbelievable action.
Absolutely. We shall now patiently await and people get the little ping for the interviews.
Absolutely. The lovely invitation that they get if they would like to come and talk to us and talk us through their race, because there's so much going on. We cannot see absolutely everything. We had so many different drivers to focus on. There was about quite a few moves going on at once. So it's always great to hear from the drivers who finish in that top three and hear directly from the drivers on how their race was from start to finish. There's some things, of course, that we don't know all the way from up here in the commentary box. So it's always very good to hear from them. So hopefully we're going to be able to get to speak to some of them very, very shortly.
Absolutely. That was an absolute fire Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And I am absolutely buzzing that I managed to get in here and reserve in for it. We do have our complete podium sitters in the waiting room, but we start off with P3. Tomas Lamanen really went for it, tried to get the victory, but was just short. Danny Van Rooten has not joined us. We do also have Ryan Grob, but Tomas Lamanen, P3 for now. Beautiful result. How are you feeling of that? How was your qualifying? Pole position, but you just couldn't convert that into a victory yet.
Yeah, my race was, I think, pretty good. Qualifying was a pretty bad lap, to be honest, but it was enough for pole. And in the race, we were looking with Ryan a 1-2, maybe, I think, without the VSC, but it just messed us over the safety car, or the wheel to safety car. So that was unlucky.
Oh yeah, that VSC really flipped it on its head and allowed Leonardo to get in the pits and get out ahead of you and your teammate. That was absolutely insane. That pulled off to perfection, and that certainly would have put you in a bit of an unfortunate situation there, needing to fight on against a fresh medium runner. But how was you feeling in that? You know, were you and Ryan going for some team tactics there? You had the McLaren locked out on the front row at one point, and you were looking very, very racy, very, very quick to press on for what could have been the victory, especially with Ryan Grob leading at some stages of the race. So things were looking very, very good and very, very interesting. I'm excited to see that. Congratulations on the podium, my friend. It's good points, so hopefully we can see you propel up the standings a little bit more. But yeah, congrats, mate. Omi, any questions from you, my friend?
Nothing from me, but congratulations on that race. And we will continue on with interviewing the other two drivers.
We do have Ryan Grob, the other McLaren driver, with us. So we'll jump on with Ryan before we get on to our race victor. Ryan, well done, mate. That was a beautiful race, and it was lovely to see. You had some mighty fine moments, staying there with your teammate, a couple of little spicy battles there, exchanging the DRS as well. How was your take on that? It's nice to see you fighting up there in the field.
Yeah, thank you. So, I mean, the race is pretty good. I started 5th, and then the main challenge was to get past the two Haas FVR cars, because I knew they were going to try their best not to let us pass. And I knew as soon as I'd get to the front with Tumas, that would make their lives a lot more difficult. So the first stint was actually very good to get the 1-2. And then from there, we protected the undercut, and we were 1-2. And then, as my teammate Tumas already said, the virtual safety car was a bit unfortunate. I know Danny got through on raw pace, but if he's alone on mediums, it would have been a lot more difficult, because after the virtual safety car, the medium runners in front always had like a 7/10 gap to us. So the whole train was kind of not separated, but just like no one could always overtake, because we were all pushing quite a bit on the hards. So I'm sure it would have been a lot more difficult then. And I mean, I'm still more than happy with P4. Finally back after fixing the issues, and 3rd and 4th for the team is not bad. GG's to Danny and Leonardo on the 1-2.
Absolutely, you know, it's good points, especially for yourself, to get yourself a little bit higher in the standings. You get yourself a nice little Christmas break now, and then you come back for the final 3 rounds. Are you looking forward to any of the races coming?
I've not actually seen which ones are coming, but considering I've missed the first 3, and I think I've missed 2 more in the season, and I've had a lot. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I've just not have had that many races. I've seen Bahrain is on it. I like Bahrain season finale. It's always a great track for racing.
And Japan and Vegas as well.
Yeah, Japan is also fun. Vegas, I think I don't really need to talk about much, to be honest. But yeah, I'm sure it will be great fun.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on where you finished. Wasn't quite the podium, but you certainly brought us some mighty fine racing. Omi, anything from you, friend?
Nothing from me once again, but congratulations on this race, and hopefully we are able to speak to you in the remaining races as a podium, and maybe even the winner as well. But enjoy your Christmas break.
Thank you. You too.
And now we set sights on the race victor, who absolutely got it falling onto his lap when that VSC came out, and he went firing out of that pits to get ahead of those McLarens. Leonardo, what a race from yourself. That first banker lap as well in qualifying, keeping yourself on that pole position for quite a while, must have felt good, but ultimately towards the end did not see that pole position. Oh, how was you qualifying in your race? Let's have your run on that, my friend.
Well, qualifying was kind of bad because like banker was was actually not very good because yeah, I could go like at least 1.5 quicker, but yeah, it's okay. Then in the final run, I just lost 2 tenths to the middle sector because I hit slightly the wall in the entry of the fast chicane. So yeah, that was basically pole position gone. I was going, I think, for low 0.4 or something, but yeah, I mean, starting in the top 10 is always good, even like in a track like Jeddah where you don't really need to be P1 for the whole race. You just need to be P1 where I was. So at the end, then yeah, in the race, I just managed on hards in the first stint. I kind of struggled in the first few laps because my setup was not ideal because I didn't actually practice race. I just did a few lobbies in qualifying and I said, yeah, okay, let's go all in. And first stint on hards was a lot better. Then I struggled a lot on the mediums because I had no idea on the grip level, and I think the tire difference around Jet is not enough to make a gap because me and Danny actually tried, but yeah, just couldn't pull it off because ERS and straights and slipstream, of course, is just so powerful. But yeah, it's the meta of the game. Can't really do anything about it. But yeah, at least I won. That's what matters.
Yeah, absolutely. It was beautiful when that VSC came out and allowed you to get into the lead of the race on fresh medium tyres. That certainly must have felt good, and it was beautiful to see. But yeah, congratulations on the victory, mate. Much needed, and can certainly put you up as a contender in Saudi Arabia. You know, you had that maybe potentially could have been a pole position. You say you had that moment in Sector 2 losing 2 tenths, but nevertheless, next time round, it could be your time to take pole and win the race and get that grand slam. But for now, a beautiful victory and congratulations. Oh, mate, anything from you?
Well, similar question to what you threw earlier on, Corey. We of course have Japan, Vegas, Bahrain coming up. So, what's your thoughts on the final 3 races of the season?
Well, as Ryan said, there's no really comments to be made on Vegas. Then Japan can be a fun track. On the other hand, Bahrain, it's yeah, probably last time I driven Bahrain was to sign up on PlayStation in the first season on this game. So yeah, I will need definitely more practice than today. But yeah, can be those 3 tracks can be good for to have a fun season finale at least.
Well, lovely stuff. Nice to know. Congrats on the victory. And we do also have Danny Van Rooten in the interview room. So, congrats on your victory, and we hope to see you on the top spot a little bit later on as we get to the final 3 rounds. But for now, enjoy your Christmas break, and we shall see you when you come back.
Thank you. You too, guys.
Danny Van Rooten, who was putting the pressure on for what could have been P1. You've had a P3, you've had a P2. We was hoping you'd get that victory, but it's just another P2 for now. It was a good race indeed. Let's have your take on that. How was your qualifying and how was your race?
Yeah, qualifying I struggled a bit, but I didn't practice that much, and I haven't driven much the last 2 weeks because of a lung infection. So, like, I was struggling a bit in quali, but yeah, P8, and then we went for a different strategy, which we knew was better because the hards don't really wear that much. Then we put it quite early to mediums because we knew the tires, yeah, they weren't going down that bad. And then I overtook like the 6-7 cars already, and then there was a safety car, a virtual safety car, which was a bit unlucky for me because Leo could pit, and the Thrasher tires still came out fully in front. And yeah, almost won, but it was not enough.
Well, we was hoping for that victory, and it's just a shame that it didn't come. But you certainly had to fight away with what was a victorious Leonardo. So congratulations on where you finished, but it wasn't the win that you've been looking for just yet. It was still a good run, and you certainly come out in a beautiful position. That was noticed when you went into the pits. As soon as you come out, you were right behind that train of hard runners. That was beautiful timing, and certainly a good pit stop strategy to have for you. But congratulations. Yeah, it was perfect, mate. That was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'll pass you on to All, mate, if he has any questions for you, my friend.
Thank you very much, Corey. But yes, similar question. Japan, Vegas, Bahrain coming up. Thoughts on the final 3 then?
Yeah, Vegas is a bit chaotic, but Japan should be more important pace-wise. So yeah, I like Japan more. What was the last track? Bahrain?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't really like Bahrain, but yeah, if we have to do it, we have to do it. So, but I think pace is good on all tracks. So not
Well, we
really.
got some details on Vegas at least this time round, but yeah, that's going to be one of our more chaotic rounds of the season, Corey. But thank you very much, Danny Van Rooten, and I hope you have a good Christmas and a New Year, and hopefully we see you back fighting in the final 3 races.
Yeah, I hope you guys have a good Christmas break too.
Well, that is it. Congratulations for Danny Van Rooten for that P2, and I shall bring you back. Well, we say, have a good Christmas. It has been a pleasure to fill in for Sappy, who is normally here, but unfortunately couldn't make it due to being a little bit late with work. But Omi, it's been a pleasure to be in the booth with you once again. We've done quite a few comms appearances together, and it never fails to disappoint. And it's been lovely to be here in the booth with you once again, my friend.
It's been absolutely brilliant. Great way to end off 2024. It's been great all the way since the start of January, where I started introducing lots of stuff to the broadcast all the way back in F5. And now, of course, ending it here with lots of different stuff that's gone on here in PSGL, but crucially, lots of great racing. And it's not the end of the season, it's the end of the year, but not the end of the season. Still 3 amazing rounds coming up. And great to work with you as usual, Corey. And hopefully, Sappy will be able to join us back for the final 3.
Absolutely. But for now, that is us. We wish you all a very good Christmas, and we shall see you next year, quite literally. Have a good one, and that is all for now.